30 wildest I don't give a fuck moments witnessed, according to Reddit. Number 30. My dad's a pretty reasonable guy, right up until the point where he meets someone who isn't reasonable. Then he has absolutely no problem sinking to their level just to fuck with them. So, we're pulling out of a parking lot. I want to say we were at a base. No, that's a Bass Pro, which is a fishing shop. But there is a Chipotle in the same parking lot, and it was the lunch rush. So, we're pulling out of the parking lot, and a woman was trying to go to Chipotle and was in way more of a hurry than she needed to be. My dad had the right of way, but she tried to sneak in before he came around the corner. I assume she thought he would brake and let her through. He did not. So, I did not. So, what we're left with is two cars, her big SUV and his big Ram, which together take up all the space in this turn. So, neither one can get past. So she starts honking at him, and he's just giggling. And I mean giggling like a little girl. He thinks this is hilarious, and she was being so rude and is now so pissed off. So he starts by waving at her and smiling. It just makes her honk even more. Eventually, she just lays on the horn. So naturally, he does the same. From an outside perspective, there are two cars that are now just in constant song of honk at each other. And I asked him what his plan was, and he told me that he was just wasting time until she realized what she needed to do was back to fuck up. There was nothing behind her, and she could have gone back at any point, but I assume she was so mad that she wanted him to back up instead. Now, like I said, my dad had the right of way, and he will stick to his principles until the day that he dies if he has to, or until he has to pee really bad. We were literally there for about 10 minutes before she finally backed up, at which point my dad decided he wanted to go the other direction and got out of her way. She started honking at him again. Oh, damn. Hey, look. It's the Linda-chan. Let me hit Linda with a bit of that. Wait a minute. Shabroobledy. That's not just gonna drift off, is it? I have to expand the window, close it, then resize the window. Ain't that a bitch? Maybe I should open up another window to monitor the chat in. Sounds like a good idea. Forgive me, I used the Navage like twice, and I feel like I can breathe better, but I feel like I'm out here coughing. Here's hoping everybody's having a fantastic evening, and that you guys can hear me well. As we continue traveling up the list of 30 I don't give a fuck moments, we arrive at number 29. I didn't witness this myself, but it's a classic family story. Well, let's get to it. My uncle grew up in East Germany and as a young doctor was trying to get an apartment of his own. The way things were in the DDR, you could only get an apartment assigned to you by this one bureau. I don't remember what it was called, but after applying at their office in person, this was all fine and dandy, but my uncle had been applying again and again for several months without success. Once, he was feeling particularly fed up with the system, so being a bit of a fresh hothead, after being rejected for the umpteenth time, he proceeded to leave the desk and in the hallway, yank down his pants and drop a dump on the floor. He got swifty. In the middle of the corridor. Dump on the floor in the corridor. Get swifty in here. Oh my God. Well, I guess that's what's up. Hey, look at all the swords in the stream chat. Lexeus, Linda, Dia. Try not to touch tips, guys. Don't cross the streams. Yeah, you proud of that shitty reference from like 30 years ago? When did Gusbusters come out? Let's type it in. Let's type in Gusbusters. Gusbusters. Bing, ding, 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 ding. There actually is a response for Gusbusters. What kind of world we living in? And it's not even correcting me either. It's just like, yep, that's what you meant. It is what I meant, but I wanted you to correct me. I wanted it to be like, did you mean Ghostbusters? It's like, no. Ghostbusters is a thing. And that's clearly what you're talking about. 1984. Bing, 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 ding, bing, bing. Isn't that closer to like 40 years? Jesus Christ. As we travel up to 28, I was a cashier at Home Depot, and some customer started giving me sass. I turned around looking at another customer and said, fuck it, I have another job to do, and I left. Those people wanted me fired every time they came in. They actually walked up to me and told me, and I'm like, that's nice, have a good day. Which of course made them angrier. How you gonna walk up to somebody at their job and tell them that you want them to get fired? What? Get a life. Somebody needs to tell me how this hosting thing works. So I guess I can start growing my viewership on Twitch. If that's something that I should even be seeking to do. Why not, right? Why not? Number 27. I heard from one of the managers the boss was planning to fire me. Wow. I just mentioned that, and he's so sweet to do that. That's so sexy and kind. Now, all of you should start hosting my stream. You should have seen the way my eyes flared when I said that. I was like, no, all of you do it. I'm kidding. But Mitch, you know, I appreciate you, man. You're a hot dog in my salad. Yeah. What does that mean? Number 27. I heard from one of my managers that the boss was planning to fire me after I came back from lunch. So I didn't come back from lunch. Somebody said I got in trouble at work once. They told me I'd have to talk to the manager, so I went to his office. He wasn't there. I just shrugged and went about my day and never heard anything about it. That's quite the anecdote. Somebody else responds to that saying, in elementary school, I would often cause problems and get sent by various staff to go talk to the principal. The first time it happened, I agreed to go and headed to the office's direction, but stopped at the bathroom near it before arriving. I hung out there for a while and then left the bathroom and went back out to the playground. Nothing ever came of it, so I did that every time. Probably a dozen times. I never actually talked to the principal or had any punishment, and my parents appeared to have no idea. I'm still proud that I found this loophole in elementary school. Well, some people find bullet holes in elementary school. You can't say shit like that. YouTube can't take a joke. Fuck YouTube at this point. You heard me, YouTube? If you can't take a joke, then you're just burying yourself, man. I would pass you a shovel, but you seem to got it under control all by yourself, motherfucker. Woo! As we traveling up to number 26. Motorcycle rider is out having a ride on a beautiful morning. Vapid dingbat swerves into him, actually contacting his handlebar before noticing that there is a bike there. The rider didn't have time to slow down enough to avoid being hit. He manages to stay on his wheels and the car speeds away. I get to a stoplight and I'm just in time to see our hero ride up to the light, put down his kickstand, walk over and twist the mirror off the car. He drops it on the ground, mounts up, blows the light, no traffic at this time of day on a Sunday, and is gone. Man. That could have been worse for everybody involved. Motorcyclist ran the red light after, you know, a dude could have had a gun that was in the car. The guy who hit the bike could have, you know how many things I've seen on Watch People Die where it's like as soon as somebody's riding a motorcycle, you already know what's going to happen. I saw something on Watch People Die where two dudes on motorcycles collided head on with one another. Wait a minute. You know what I'm talking about? As we travel up this list, we arrive at number 25. Once while working in Macy's, I saw a dude using moon shoes as actual shoes. Totally not practical in any way. He was taking a big, awkward steps, but was totally rocking it. Now, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I don't have a mental image of moon shoes. Okay, they're like the stupid little shoes that you put on, and they're kind of like trampoline shoes. Look at this ugly ass thumbnail. With an ugly ass thumbnail like that, you know this guy's got like 1 billion subscribers, and people will just eat that shit up. Oh yeah, I fucking love this guy's content. And he's all like, don't forget to smash that like button, dudes. And they're all like, yeah, I like being called a dude. as we travel up this horny ass list of 30 wildest I don't give a fuck moments witnessed. We arrive at number 24 now. At high school, or at a high school party, where everyone was drinking underage and there was around 90 people, I'll never forget watching the cops pull into the driveway and seeing every single person take off sprinting into the cornfields. Okay. It was a rural area with a mile of corn 500 feet from the house. And with everyone sprinting away from the cops, one guy sat in a lawn chair and continued to drink his beer while everyone else was running around. I was watching it from the bed of my truck, hiding. My man. What a baller. You know what I'm talking about? Why are so many purple named people? Can you guys change the color of your name? Because Daniel Harbinger of Doom got purple. Legend Rich got purple. Bass Clarinet got purple. Y'all just want to be purple. You know, look at Rhea Radical comment. I'm purple too, guys. Let's all be purple. What the fuck? What do you mean you can't change your color? Can I change your color? You're lucky. If I can't change your color, you lucky, boy. Side of Coffee says that they're mad because Twitch creeps caching. I would love it if Twitch was caching me. You know what I'm talking about? All right, look. Twitch keeps crashing. Yeah, what a tongue twister. So we travel up to number 23. A few years back, a friend of mine was working retail with me, just moving skids to the floor and stuff like that. What? At the time, we had a huge asshole of a general manager constantly demanding more work and a harder hustle, just being a dick in general. You mean being a manager, yeah. Well, my pal was leaving for a new job and was already past his time just helping out with extra work that we had when he could have just gone home. Coffee in one hand and pallet jack in another, dragging skids around when our general manager stops him and asks, "Where are you taking that skid? Don't warehouse it. Put it on the top shelf out in one of the aisles." Essentially, what he was asking was for my friend to take maybe 60 plus boxes of small product off of a skid and up on a shelf out of reach on the retail floor. And to top it off, he also wanted him to unbox them all first. Literally the most tedious, redundant task you could be doing. My friend just dropped the skid where he stood and said, "You do it," and left the building. Ooh, what a baller. We got a badass over here. No you, bro. No you. Okay. Wow. I love you all. Thanks for doing what you do. And special thanks to my man Mitch for hosting this stream, I guess. Why does it notify me of that? I just thought about that. Is that normal? It's like notifying me about it. Well, I worked in a cocktail bar for a while, and a guest was complaining that the drink she got didn't match her preferences. She was being rather rude and condescending, and wouldn't give anyone a direct answer as to what was wrong with the drink. A guest to her right asked, "What did you ask for?" She replied, and the guest, without hesitation, grabbed her drink. He finished it in one chug, looked at her straight in the eye, and said, "That's exactly what you described, and it was delicious. Don't be a bitch." We bought him all of his drinks for the rest of the night. The hero that the world deserves. Wow. Wow. So here's what's going on. Number 21. I was on my way to work one morning last month. It was snowing quite heavily and started to settle on the ground. I drove past a man on his own, probably in his 30s, just skipping down the road, full on arms swinging. The whole thing. No fucks given. He was glorious. Oh shit, give me a second. I'll be right back, I promise. I apologize for that. And what the hell? Okay, sorry, my delivery driver was talking about Sea of Thieves. Interesting. Here I am, and it's time for me to go. So number 21 was talking about a guy just walking down the street skipping, you know, like a little girl. Nothing's wrong with that, you know. We're supposed to live in a society where people can live the way they want to live. If you want to wake up in the morning and put on a fursuit and expect to be taken seriously and use whatever bathroom you want, you know, that's the world we live in. Woo! So as we continue up this list of 30 wildest I don't give a fuck moments, here we are at number 19. Just kidding. We're at number 20. I worked as a chef at a place in Sweden, and the head chef was a real bastard. The dude was on drugs most of the time when he wasn't drunk. Okay. So one day the owner had enough after another incident with the waiting staff and just came into the kitchen, yelled at the dude and told him to go home and never come back. So the head chef starts just removing his clothes right then and there, down until he was only in his socks, shoes, and underwear. He grabbed a bottle of wine standing by the oven, opened it, and walked out the kitchen door into our actual dining area. He stopped to chug the entire bottle of wine in front of all of the guests, carefully placed it on a table, and walked out. This was midwinter in the northern part of Sweden. He lived about 10 minutes away and didn't own a car. He never said a word to the owner, and I never saw him again either. I don't know about refreshing, but I kind of respected his exit, even though he was an absolute douchebag, and thought I'd share it here. Bing bong. Bing bong. Well, Side of Coffee says my YouTube account was banned. What did you upload? Porn? Unless they were hand expression videos of ladies teaching other people how to get the breast milk out with their hand, it's not okay, okay? It's never okay. Number 19. A guy last week at the cinema, full-on onesie and fried chicken. He was just a full-on not care. He was just full not care. I thought this was going to say it was full of not care, but it just says he was full not care. Looks like Sweets is sharing some sort of story over here. My God. We were in the lineup for a self-checkout when a lady decided she forgot something and left all her items in the self-checkout instead of, finishing the transaction and coming back for her stuff. She made us wait for her, so we asked the staff to cancel the transaction. The lady caught us in the process of doing so, and she flipped out. I told her that the universe does not revolve around her. She responded, "Yes, it does." What? I lectured her about disregarding others' time. The best part was that I checked in and out before she could, and the guy behind me high-fived me. High five, bruh. Well, fuck that lady. Talking about the universe revolve around her. Oh my God, okay. How can people be so disgusting? Jeez. Side of Coffee says I wrote a few comments that they were flagged as hate speech, even though it was telling people who were writing real ones to fuck off. You want to know the comedy about YouTube is that context doesn't matter. And since it's robots who's flagging everything, any and everything is going to end up being hate speech. And here's an example of what's gone down. I have a friend who watched an animation of a video where a character, like they said something that was a little derogatory, but it was all, it's all a fucking joke. It's a stupid little cartoon. So as a comment, that person literally, in quotations, wrote what the character in the animation said, and they got flagged for hate speech. And it's like, dude, it's only just coming to my attention that people can get in trouble when they're not the ones making content, which is just scary as hell, because it's like, how hard of a safe space does this need to be? You know what I mean? It's not like we're seeking out people and making fun of them for being black or being transgender or just being any kind of different. You know what I mean? We're not bringing up race and sex and all of this crap, and we're not initiating or provoking other people to join us in some kind of, I don't know, witch hunt. You know, we're not seeking out personal information, trying to dox niggas or anything. It's just like, hey, we're online saying a couple of dumb things, and it'd be one thing if they just want to censor your shit and like hide you or delete you, but holy crap, man, when they out here just going, you know what, you are, this is hate speech. I don't like it, so that makes it hate speech. Wait a minute. Number 18, man. I worked at a call center for a while too, which, as we all know, is hell on earth. Had a coworker look me dead in the eyes and say, "Thanks for calling Verizon, go fuck yourself," and hung up. He then proceeded to log out for a 2-hour lunch. He came back but was quickly escorted out. Huh, why'd he come back? Somebody responds, I have a similar story from my sister who worked for Arby's for a while. Oh yeah, that must have just sucked her soul clean out. Oh my god. One day the dude on the drive, though, gets a text that his buddy is coming by. He sees a car pulled up that he thinks is his buddy, gets on the mic and says, "Welcome to Arby's, go fuck yourself." It was not his buddy. Oh my god. Number 17. At a New England boarding school, there was a kid who can best be described as a modern Mark Twain character. Yeah, kids these days know who Mark Twain is. He grew up on living on a boat. He didn't wear shoes to places if he thought he could get away with it, etc. He was expelled just a few days before graduation, I think for drug use, but possibly one too many alcohol infractions. With nothing to lose, he took off all his clothes and walked stark naked from the dean's office back to his dorm. I like nudity as a form of rebellion. Yeah. What's so fucking scary and awful about the human form, you know? But the scary thing is, they make indecent exposure like a fucking crime, you know? How pure and innocent is just the idea of some idiot jumping on a field, like a game, like a soccer or football game, and just running across with his naked ass until somebody can catch his dumb ass. It's just funny, you know? It's funny. This isn't somebody grabbing their junk and getting gross in front of a little kid or something, dude. This is, you know what I mean? There's such a clear line between disgusting crap and people just having hilariously spirited fun. And the sadness of this is that I know if a cop caught his ass between his dean's office and the dorm, that he would have been arrested for indecent exposure. Like, oh my god.
Shame YouTube does not know shit. Here's my donation cause I love you.
I love you too, Fennybug. And I appreciate that. The first donation, and maybe the only, of this stream. What a badass. Thanks, my man. And man, here's to the future. Here's hoping that we can set up some scary ass things with YouTube, I guess, on the sidelines, because we gave it a shot. Number 15, dude around here takes his 2 pets with him everywhere he goes. To the shops, to the pub, you name it. Just brings them with him. Well, a lot of people try to get away with that shit in America. Somebody responds, I know a guy who brings his pet miniature goat to the pub. 0 fucks given. All the locals love him. Our tourists look distressed, though. Ooh. Number 14. I went to one of the nicer theaters in town, a cool date night place that most people get moderately dressed up for. The place serves actual food, and it's good food too. Reclining, reserved leather seating, a bar, the whole 9 yards. There's a lady in her mid-50s, early 60s there with her husband. She was in her pajamas, wrapped in a blanket, carrying a pillow, and having her husband, dressed in khakis and a polo, collect tons of children's candy and just sits down in her fucking cocoon of blankets and snacks. This lady is my inspiration. She gave 0 fucks about how out of place she looked and just wanted to be comfortable in the theater. It was awesome. Well, we can all take a note, you know. When you get to that age, man, you don't got the energy to give a fuck. That's the bottom line. If anybody knows anything about Twitch and knows if there's a way that I can start getting the stream to, let's say, highlight my name so that something can kind of catch my eye as it's drifting by, in the stream, like I can set it to kind of prioritize keywords and give it like a little bit of a highlight or something, I'd appreciate that. But, you know, if not, that's fine. Oh, it just does it automatically. Wow, Fennybug. Fennybug knew. Fennybug knew. Fennybug knew. Dude, Fennybug knew. As we travel up, we arrive at number 13. We were at a party in high school and my buddy is wasted. Some girls come over and starts yelling at him about telling his girlfriend to fuck off when she was trying to explain why she cheated on him. He calmly stands up, goes over to my friend's refrigerator, and starts looking around without speaking. The girl goes, "Are you even listening to me?" from across the kitchen. My buddy then, like a rubber band snapping, pulls out a Kraft single piece of cheese and throws it straight at her and hits her in the forehead. He walks downstairs to the basement and passed out like 5 minutes later. Yo, cheesy ass. You ain't nothing but a cheese, ho. You ain't nothing but a cheese. You ain't nothing but a cheese, ho. Oh, you always out here cheesing. Number 12, a coworker of mine invited a prospective employer to his current job to interview him so he wouldn't have to take time off. Yeah, he got fired for that. I love it. I love it. I love it. Number 11. This happened years ago. I had just been at a club and back, then I didn't... Okay. Sorry. I'll deliver it properly. This happened years ago. I had just been at a club, and back then, I didn't drink or do drugs, but I never judged if others chose to do so. This girl I was with, she wasn't a super close friend. We had some mutual friends, so we saw each other a lot, but didn't spend that much time together. Anyway, she had popped some pills earlier and was pretty drunk, and we're walking to the train station because we're on the same line, and it's almost 2 a.m. and we're both exhausted. She'd taken off her heels and is walking barefoot in the middle of winter, and is talking to me about the time she broke her arm falling off the monkey bars in school. Suddenly, she decides she wants to hit up this 24-hour burger place on the way to the station. We get there, she buys me a burger because I'm short on cash, but she also buys 5 extra burgers and fries. At the time, I was teasing her about how much food she bought. Very casually, she mentions that they're for a friend. And when we get to the station, she walks over to a couple of homeless dudes and sits down next to them. Thank you for the subscription. Wait a minute, Jesus, you only just now subscribed to me, man. I thought we was friends, man. I thought we was friends. Very casually, she mentions that they're for friends. And when we get to the station, she walks over to a couple of homeless dudes, sits down next to them, and starts chatting like they've known each other their whole lives. It was a bit awkward for me. I had never spoken to a homeless person, and these were proper homeless people. Like, they smelled pretty bad and were missing half their teeth. They were nice guys, but boy, it was a new experience for me. Anyways, we're eating burgers and these stinky homeless guys, and then they light up a joint and share it. The fact that she shared a joint with these toothless homeless people really grossed me out, and I stuck around. And when our train was only a few minutes away, we said goodbye, and I spied her slipping some cash after hugging each of them goodbye. Thank you, Side Coffee, and I thought we were friends too. Motherfucker. I'ma start throwing some shit in here. I'ma start throwing shit on that ass. I'ma start cheesing on that ass. All right, look, we got our trains, no problem. And I asked her how on earth she was good friends with random homeless people, and she laughed it off, saying that she usually chills with them when waiting for the train. It was crazy to me. She had done something wonderful for another person, like it was no big deal at all. It really put me in my place when I realized that I would otherwise had never even looked at someone like that. She didn't seem to care at all about the entire exchange, and that moment sticks with me as an example of someone doing something good without needing any kind of validation. Well, that's really cool. But since we're a family here, let me tell you the truth. If I was telling this, if I was telling this story, no, let's not go there. Let me just say it objectively. We're listening to this story and we want to be entertained. I would like the story more if the setup in the beginning about her being really drunk and popping pills and shit like that, if the setup was basically so that at the end we could get the payoff of her going, I don't know those guys. You know, I'm drunk, so I just wanted to give my burgers to somebody and figure that they could use it the most. And that would be even funnier, like her sharing like sharing some weed with these homeless dudes. But yeah, no, this is a charming story about a sweet girl who is balancing the scales as far as the terrible shit going on in the world. Looks like Sedasia has made it into the stream chat. Lovely and wonderful Sedasia. Nice to see Faith kicking it as well. Faith _F_F. That's a breast size somewhere. Now, I will say that I love this story, but I don't know about all that sharing some stuff, that lip to lip action with some homeless people. Now, you don't know. As we complete this list by rolling through the final 10, I am trying to get to my food that I ordered. Here we are at number 10. At my last job as an insurance adjuster, we had this guy who was always perpetually pissed at management for perceived injustices. Well, one day they bring us into a meeting and describe to us a bunch of workflows. And he just rails on them, even going so far as to get up on the board, in the room, drawing a pie chart, and forcing the directors to admit that they are making us do more work than reasonable. He was reprimanded afterwards, but it was nice to see that somebody thought the same way that I did. It's nice to see somebody stand up for themselves. I'm surprised he didn't get fired, because that's how shit normally goes. In a place where everybody need to fall in line and they're demanding more of you than you should be able to even put out. Man. Number 9, I used to work on reception of an upscale hotel. We had elderly mid-80s gentlemen working as concierge who would spend his shifts chatting away to the guests. He was likable and charming and often got away with being a little inappropriate. One day, 2 ladies check in for the spa, and as he's walking away rolling their luggage, I overhear his conversation. He asked them where they were from, and they replied Halifax. And his response was, "Oh, I once had violent sex with a girl from Halifax, lovely little town." They laughed. Old people can get away with all sorts of things. Not the creepy shit that Hannah tells me old people be saying to her. "If I were just a couple of years younger, grabbing my bowels while I'm looking at you, girl." What the fuck? Number 8, okay? My high school had what was a beauty pageant for senior dudes. What? Okay. My high school had what was a beauty pageant for senior dudes. It raised money for their prom. Oh, seniors in high school. I don't know why I'm thinking about old niggas. What the fuck? It was always in good fun, but one of the competitions was a swimsuit walk, and to keep things from going too far, Speedos were banned. That did not, however, stop one guy from wearing his mom's bikini in front of an auditorium full of classmates and teachers. It was as revealing as one would expect, and I have no idea how nobody stopped him before it was too late. Oh my God. Somebody said it took me a while to realize senior dudes were high schoolers, not elderly men. My man. You see me out here upvoting your comment? Yeah, boy. Yeah. I'ma start cheesing on that ass. At any rate, number 7, I saw a kid playing in the mud at a park. The dad was all like, no, buddy, you're gonna get all muddy. And the kid slowly sat down in the puddle and reclined in it, dipping the back of his hair in the puddle, then sat up quick, whipping muddy water in the air like a Pantene commercial. That was my son. What a twist. Number 6, okay? Got food to eat. Come on, baby. Oh my God. I love to tell this one because I got to watch it all unfold and because I caused it to a certain extent. I worked for a call center for a time, and a friend of my original training class was getting tired of it after a couple of years. This guy, for whom his life is basically gone, job, large savings, no job, whittle savings, rinse, repeat. Okay. He lives total minimalistically the whole time. Oh my God. So he basically came to this job after 2 years of neat life, not employed or in education. I don't remember what the T stands for. Teen? I don't know. And to neat life, he has prepared to return a hearty 3 years worth of savings under his belt. He told me that he was tired of the bullshit and he didn't want to keep working. I liked having a friend at work with his attitude, so I convinced him that instead, make them fire him. He agreed and began a very linear scale of laziness. The first week, he began a strict regiment of call avoidance. He would come in, abuse the phone status changes, take maybe one call, go on his first break, come back, take maybe one more call, go on lunch break, etc. For a full week, he took 4 or 6 calls a day, and no one said a damn thing. The second week, he took basically no calls. He did a great job of looking busy when important people came by. Somehow his supervisor did not come to talk to him, and the people who monitored phone stats either overlooked him or were investigating a phone anomaly. The third week was where he really shined. We were responsible for our own timesheets as represented on the employee website, and he would come in at the start of his first break, go on break, take no calls, go on lunch, take no calls, go on break, and then leave. But on his timesheet, he put his normal start and end times to get paid for the full workday. The Friday of week 3 is when they finally came for him. I was so proud of my boy when they laid a piece of Word document in front of him to sign, stating that he would relinquish his pay that he did not earn, which he promptly refused to sign. Since they could not compel him to sign it, the supervisor got irate, walked him then and there. The thing is, if you're fired, you have to have an exit interview. He didn't get one, so they had to call him back in, pay him for his time, and exit interview him properly. And then, of course, he got unemployment and supplement his savings. He did so well that he moved to Colorado. And he out there smoking that weed. If anyone is feeling like this company didn't deserve that level of scamming, I'm happy to report that it was Comcast. What a story. Okay, guys, what a story. And if there's something above this that is better, I will be shocked. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I have to go put on some rice. Ain't that some crazy shit that I'm doing that right now? But then it'll give me a little bit of time to... I love you. Just put on some rice. I know this is horrible. Someone should stop me. Ugh. But you have time amongst yourselves to live the dream. Oh God, here I am. And here we complete the final 5 on the list of 30 wildest I don't give a fuck moments witnessed. You could say that a man getting up in the middle of his stream to go put on rice so that it'll be further along in the cooking process so that when he's ready to eat, you'll have some of that rice. Whoa! Woo! I ran from that wing of the house, which is so far, only Hannah knows what I'm talking about because it's very far away. Woo! Oh, my Lord. Number 5, all right? You ever see somebody spell went like that? Damn. I went to the city court to pay off a ticket now. I was upset because the wait was about an hour and a half, plus who enjoys paying for a ticket? Finally, my number gets called and I sit down at one of the desks and an older man walks in and sees the ridiculous amount of people waiting in the queue. The man says, "Fuck it, I'll just go to jail," loud enough for some of us to hear, and then walks out of the building. The lady at the desk didn't think it was funny, but it made my day. But it made my day. Hey, Jesus seems to like my thumbnail. Thank you, Jesus. In time, hopefully I can get some kind of Twitch big shot to host my my stream. And then a whole bunch of people will come in and be all like, whatever, I guess it's all right. And then they'll like subscribe or whatever. And they'll help me get these stupid achievements that I need to be gangster enough to be partnered, right? I don't know how it works. Faith says she needs to buy some shampoo. That's where it's really at, isn't it? That's where it's really at. So here we go, number 4. A guy at my work making over 100,000 is getting shit for something stupid for the last time from the supervisor that nobody likes. He doesn't say anything, he leaves all his shit, gets up and walks. Oh, 2 days later he got a raise and doesn't have a supervisor anymore. Ooh! Somebody said that guy knew his worth to the company. That's a very strong play. That's really cool. Wow. Well, Disguise says I have enough followers to qualify for a sub button. He says you think. Well, I'm pretty sure that I don't have a sub button. And I want one. And I think I've already, tried applying or whatever for a bing bong. But they didn't care. They didn't care about me. Nobody cares. So what do I do? Tell me what to do. My faithful chat. Mitch Run says you do, but you need to stream for 7 days in a 30-day window. My God. So I have to do this either for a week or a month. I'm not paying attention and comprehending well enough to understand which. My God. Number 3. I was at the gym recently and overheard a guy talking on the phone to someone who I presume was his wife. The conversation went a little something like this. I just need another 10 or 15 minutes to finish you up. Just another 10 or 15 minutes. Just another 10 or 15 minutes. It's just another 10 or 15 minutes. Just another. Okay, fine, I'm leaving now. He then hung up and spent the next 10 to 15 minutes finishing up his routine. Oh my God. He realized he wasn't speaking her language. I love it. I'm on the way while she hasn't even showered yet. Oh my God. Woo. What a world. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, at the final 2 on the big ass list of 30 wildest I don't give a fuck moments. Wow. So fun, so wild, so fresh, so clean. Ain't nobody dope as me, I'm just so fresh, so clean. When did that song come out by Outkast? Let's take an interactive Google journey right now. So fresh, so clean. Come on, baby. Hit me with it. Hit me with it. Give me the stats. It was released March 13th, 2001. So I guess you could say this was the second best thing that happened in 2001. Don't, Kyle. And you wonder why you get in trouble on YouTube? It is a joke, and people who don't have a sense of humor can get themselves a shotgun and aim it at their face and figure out how to pull the trigger with their feet. I'm sorry, number 2. I watched a man get half tripped up by an elderly woman while rounding a corner. He dropped his drumstick of ice cream, the cone as this happened. Okay. He looked at the woman who apologized profusely, stared for a few seconds, then pulled another drumstick from his pocket. He then carried on without saying a word to anybody. just for those who aren't aware, drumstick is a type of ice cream here. You know I have some overseas people. So I guess the madness of this entry is that this guy was carrying around ice cream in his pocket. You know, what is the ultimate power move? Somebody says, ever since he was a kid, he had always walked around with 2 cones in his pocket, just waiting for this to happen, and it finally did. What a world. I would like to personally thank all of you for being here. Okay. Oh my God. What's happening to me? I'm just a little hungry. Okay, maybe a lot of hungry. I want to thank my man Fenny for going above and beyond. Thank you, Mitch Runs, for hosting this stream. I want to thank my patrons, and I want to thank my incredible sponsors. You know, without you, I wouldn't be so vigilant. And there's also some scary things coming down the pipes. Not literally scary, figuratively. Okay, jeez. So as we finish this list, here we are at number 1. In high school, a friend of mine got pissed loaded drunk. I mean, it's a miracle he didn't end up in the hospital. And he didn't have a drive home from the party, so what does he do? He calls the police and says, yeah, there's some drunk fucker walking up 3rd Street yelling. And what does he do then? He walks up 3rd Street until they pick him up and drive him to his mother's house. I didn't know you could get free rides from the police anywhere other than the what the fuck? Somebody said this is the best one. So naturally, poem for your sprog responds. Dearest officer, he started, there's a fellow just ahead who is recently departed from sobriety, he said. He's a rather drunken fellow, and he's walking down the street with a bottle of Bordello while he wobbles on his feet. You shall have to come retrieve him, for he's hideous to see. But he whispered, don't believe him, as he giggled, I am me. Or I am he. Okay, brilliant. Okay. So that's that, you know? Anything exploding in the world we need to check out? Canada wants clearer warnings on junk food. Yeah, Canada don't want to get fat like we are. Uh-oh. I don't want to be fat like you Americans. Somebody uploads to Shower Thoughts. The worst part about not having internet is that you can't use the internet to look up why you don't have internet. And once you do eventually connect to the internet, you never bother to check why you didn't have internet, making you ignorant on what to do next time you don't have internet. It's not ignorance if it's out of your power, and it's typically out of your power. It's like a service outage that you can do honestly nothing about. You can typically honestly do nothing about. I mean, most people get internet knocked out, but they still have their service on their phone. This man has a, oh my God. Of course they sync. Okay, you know. Okay. Thank you to everybody who was here. For those of you watching this after the fact on YouTube, again, a reminder that you guys can join the live.
May I have a sword as well? Smiley face.
Nobody who asks for mod gets it, but Jesus has been a mod in, you know, my other Bing Bong. So of course he deserves it here. But I just don't want anybody to be like seeing that and going, oh, that person just asked for the mod and he got it. I'm like, you know what I mean? But yes, Jesus, of course you are now that guy, right? So it works. Future Artist 1995 says good night, and I hope everybody has a great night. Linda, Alexeus, Daniel, bass clarinet player. I know that's Michael Davis. Oh boy. Here's to seeing you guys soon. I'm going to destroy some of this food, and I will probably stream later here, obviously, but I don't know, you know? I don't know. So, let's have some fun and stay out of trouble. Have a great night. Talk to you soon. Boo doo doo doo.